So, hello everyone, and thank you all so much for joining our Equinox event. The Northern Hemisphere, we're moving into the spring in less than a half an hour. So yeah, get yourself comfortable. And if you're joining live, again, very welcome. If you're watching the recording, you're still here energetically. We're grateful for your presence. We've got a great group that's signed up for this. So I'm going to invite you just to take a moment and take in a couple nice deep breaths and just let yourself arrive. I know we're during the working week, during a working day, so a lot of people are kind of taking a break out of their normal activities to join. So just take a few deep breaths and let your body settle. Let yourself be here. And just take a few deep, full body breaths and just feel your body start to readjust and realign. Allowing your nervous system to move back into a state of peace and calm. It already knows how. And you may notice that your joints start to soften. Anywhere you tend to hold tension starts to relax and ease off. You may feel your body realigning, readjusting itself, and your mind starting to feel more calm and more at ease. Let the tension melt away. Let the things racing through your mind just be set aside for now. And just take a moment to allow your energy to start to expand out. You're not pushing, you're just allowing an expansion. We are spacious at heart and soul. Just allow your energy to continue to expand out. And expand out through the world, expand out through our atmosphere, expand out through our solar system and out into the universe. And just allow yourself to be spacious. And anything that you are clinging on to, holding on to, trying to control, just imagine yourself surrendering it for the moment, just for now. And if you have any intentions for today, anything that you're ready to set aside, anything that you feel excited about welcoming in, set those intentions now. You can speak them into your own heart, speak them to the universe, whatever feels aligned for you. And it can be a simple word, a simple feeling, and the less complex, the better. Just keep allowing your energy to expand, feeling more present and more at ease. And I'm going to read a blessing as you're in this expanded state. So this is actually a blessing for your birthday, but it feels like it fits perfectly for the beginning of a new astrological year where we are symbolically and metaphorically taking our first breaths, opening our eyes to the light for the first time. So blessed be the mind that dreamed the day the blueprint of your life would begin to glow on earth, illuminating all the faces and voices that would arrive to invite your soul to growth. Praise be your father and mother who loved you before you were and trusted to call you here with no idea who you would be. Blessed be those who have loved you into becoming who you were meant to be. Blessed be those who have crossed your life with the dark gifts of hurt and loss that have helped to school your mind in the art of disappointment. When desolation surrounded you, blessed be those who looked for you and found you, their kind hands urgent to open a blue window in the gray wall formed around you. Blessed be the gifts you never notice, your health, eyes to behold the world, thoughts to countenance the unknown, memory to harvest vanished days, your heart to feel the world's waves, your breath to breathe the nourishment of distance made intimate by earth. May this echoing day of your birth, may you open the gift of solitude in order to receive your soul. Enter the generosity of silence to hear your hidden heart. Know the serenity of stillness to be enfolded anew by the miracle of your being. May our hearts be open, our thoughts peaceful, our words poetry, and messages medicine. Oh. So whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. If you'd like to take a few more moments, please feel free. And if you would like to share in the chat where you're joining from, if you have any intentions for today that you're happy to share with the group, there's always a resonance. There's always things that people can take from each other and utilize. So yeah, I would really be happy if anyone wanted to share that in the chat. Kirsten, yeah, I saw you sitting outside in the sunshine. You enjoy squinting in the sun. How to see the difference between everything changing because of equinox and old traumas raising their ugly heads. I love that so much. We will come to that because there is a difference between the two. Thank you for sharing that. So what we're going to do today is, again, I'm going to take us through these last few moments of the winter of Pisces season. If you don't know a lot about astrology, please don't worry. We're just kind of touching on the basics just to give you an idea and an awareness of what you might be going through right now. Because I know for a lot of people, you know, we've just finished up eclipse season. We've just had a new moon in Pisces. There's been a lot going on, and most people I know have either been exhausted. The last few days have been quite emotional. Um, and yeah, this feeling of things changing, but not always knowing what that change is going to be, which can create feelings of disruption and instability and yeah, just the natural, normal fears that us humans can experience. So if that resonates on any level, no, you're not alone. No, we're in process with all of this. And the invitation in this next bit of time is to surrender to that, to allow this energy to move through you and for you, to know that you don't have to do it all and have it all figured out yourself, and that there are forces beyond our physical senses that are working to support us. So yeah, I invite you to breathe into that. Absolutely. Oh, hello from lots of people. Great. Liz in East Lothian, um, Edinburgh, Ellen in Edinburgh. Love the weather. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing today. So exciting. Alicia in NYC. All right. So cool. Emily in sunny London. So glad it's expanding through the country. Fiona in Walkerburn, Scottish borders. Intention is softening into the light. Oh, that's so perfect. I love that. Thank you, Fiona. Allie in the deck in Clyde Estuary in the sunshine. Drina in the south of Portugal, Mel in East Lothian, Janet in sunny Edinburgh, Jem, happy to be here. Absolutely. Extremely buzzy with the spring energy. Looking forward to feeling more grounded and inviting in healthy body and mind, from sunny north coast of Scotland. Perfect. Happy Astara. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. I'm in Edinburgh, shedding some old stories and create a new level of loving and trust. So perfect too. Stuart in Pennycook. Mel's intention is to feel more alignment and clarity. Amazing. So if you're still typing away, keep going. The intentions will be added into the collective alchemical soup that we're in right now. And shedding old habits. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so I want to dive into this energy around kind of Pisces and Aries. So the end of winter and beginning of spring. I'm really briefly just going to show you the chart right now. Again, if you don't understand astrology, it is not a problem. What I'm going to show you is just these two houses right here. So these are the energies of Pisces and Aries, water and fire, into the zodiac beginning. And if you notice, there's a lot going on in these two right here. We've got a few placements out with these kind of outer planets, but most of the really personal stuff, the things that are really pertinent and personal, are happening this last month and moving into next month. So just wanted to show you that so you have some clarity around where everything is kind of falling right now. So, um, in terms of, um, yeah, in terms of these energies, we are moving out of watery Pisces. Pisces is, think of the ocean, the deepest ocean you can think of, limitless, untethered water. And this water is, and this energy represents our emotional state. It represents intuition. It represents our capacity to be in flow, to move, to surrender, to float, to kind of dance within that water, knowing that we're being held within it and supported within it as well. So it's not a free fall into nothing. There is a bit of structure and movement and support with it. And when we look at its components on lots of levels, is we come into this essence of the dreaming. So just take a moment to feel into that, this awareness of being in a state of dreaming. So we've just spent the last 3 months in winter, which is where we are meant to, if we're working with the seasons, it's a time of rest. It's a time of recovery. It's a time to imagine. It's a time to go inward, to heal, to let things unfold, to receive guidance and information. So it's less doing, and more of a time of receiving. And Pisces is this wonderful energy that really embodies a lot of that. Pisces is also represents, in a lot of ways, our capacity to imagine, our capacity to imagine the impossible, to detach from reality in a healthy way because we can get very caught up in what our reality is right now and feel very fixed and very stuck in it. Pisces wants to help us dissolve all of that so that we go beyond what is right in front of us and we can imagine things that have the capacity to evolve and to change. So there's this potential within Pisces to create and to create the imaginable and unimaginable, to create the possible and impossible. And if you think about our dream states, we can have strange dreams that don't make sense. We can have strange dreams that defy gravity, reality, time, space. Um, and Pisces really gives us the capacity to do that. It brings us into that state where we can move beyond the known. We can move beyond the thought processes. We can move beyond the conscious mind, which, our minds like to know. They like to try to figure it all out and piece everything together and figure out bit by bit what it's supposed to do. And that is wonderful. It's wonderful to have common sense and intelligence and the capacity to kind of weave those things together. And it's wonderful to have the capacity to loosen the grip on that so that new ideas and insight can come through. So, this ability to kind of detach in healthy ways from what we believe is real in the moment opens up a space for the unknown. It opens up a space for possibility and opportunity. So breathe that in for a moment. Just let that move through you. So, in terms of the healing capacity within that Pisces energy, again, it's very intuitive. There's a lot of healing potential within it. What can happen with Pisces is if we loosen up enough, if we let go of the grips of control, if we stop trying to make it all happen in the way we think it's supposed to, what can happen is that we open space for healing to come in. We open up space for awareness of new ways for things to be done, or maybe not done. Maybe we can just surrender them and move beyond. So there's this real capacity to allow karma to complete. So when I talk about karma, karma are the repeating patterns and loops in your life. And we can create really positive karma, We create positive karma all the time through the choices that we make that align with our boundaries, our sense of respect, our dignity. Um, or we can continue to make choices that reinforce old patterns and old ways of being, so that reinforce our fears, that keep us in states of anxiety or panic or stress. We can keep choosing the same things over and over and over again that we say we want healed, but then we keep choosing it. So take a breath. Because if you have any insight or anything coming up around this, it might be good to write this down. This is an opportunity, this moment is an opportunity to surrender that old karma. It's an opportunity to wash your hands clean from the things that no longer align, from the patterns of the past that you have outgrown, that are outdated, that are intergenerational, that are hierarchical, that have moved through the millennia, that are detrimental and painful and create suffering. So there is a distinct call right now to witness what is moving through that is creating difficulties and problems with your capacity to dream. If you are so rooted in a reality that's foundations are built in pain and suffering or limitation, and you're just continuing to build upon that, you just are building the same things over and over again. Whereas Pisces, that water, will hold you enough to allow those old foundations to dissolve. And it will allow an untangling of the karma that you feel bound to. So taking a breath and just start to feel that moving through you. There is an invitation to allow your labels and roles and identities to wash away, to wash clean. And you can choose to do this by leaning in with courage and a willingness, with an understanding there will probably be some discomfort in that. And there may be a feeling of loss. There may be a feeling of grief or sadness in the washing away of the old identities. What I want to highlight for you, though, is that if these identities and roles are based in suffering, if they're based in untruths, if they're based in obligation, they are not strong enough and healthy enough to build the future that you want to build. So we undermine ourselves all the time. We undermine our real dreams, our deepest desires, by building on shaky ground. So if you let this Pisces energy wash through you right now, and there may be some figuring out to do in the future, absolutely. Set that aside for now. We'll suspend that for the moment. We'll let that float in Pisces so that you can be intuitively guided in how to navigate that. But if you can allow yourself to be in a space of surrender, then the knots and the karmic cords and tangles that are dragging you down and making you feel like you're drowning will start to untether. And it always comes up. People talk about feeling unsafe in the untethering. What I would offer you is that you can build something with much more stability and grace and strength when you allow the untethering to happen, because there is then a spaciousness for those new opportunities and new possibilities. And some of them may be beyond your knowing mind. They may be beyond what you've thought about or what you've figured out through your conscious thoughts. So this is also there's an opportunity to surrender to trust, to engage more faith, and to develop some faith in yourself. Now, we develop faith in ourselves by showing up for ourselves, by following our intuition, by moving ahead with that grace, intuitively guided, unshackled, and untethered by the past. That's how it happens. So take a deep breath and just let this awareness move through you. You may find it useful, you may have already been doing this, but you may find it useful to just write down some of the things that you're wanting to surrender in these last few moments of Pisces season. I will say as well, anything you think of in the next few days, don't worry. There is still time to surrender. We're timeless beings. So even if your awareness comes later, that's absolutely fine. But take a moment to write down or just name to yourself the things that you want to surrender. And these could be small things like, um, feeling misaligned, feeling ignored, your suffering, your pain, the fighting, the conflict, feelings of embarrassment, feelings of guilt. It can be all the ways that you feel small or weak, all the ways you felt out of sync with time, the things that you believed are too late, and all the illusion and the despair over what you thought was supposed to be or what you think you failed at. These are all just our projections. These are all just old, it's the emotional baggage and the identities that we've built over time based on the past. What Pisces does is it opens us up enough to say we are timeless and that we can learn and grow from the past, but there's no need for it to dictate who we are now and where we are going to go. So taking a deep breath. And just take a moment here to breathe into that and just feel yourself loosening. Feel yourself untethering, untangling. Feel yourself surrendering to a higher awareness, to something that is healthier or more aligned than you are right now. If you want to call that your higher self or your soul or the divine, use whatever terminology you want for this. So at the end, we're going to do a meditation to kind of bring this all together as we're moving towards this equinox moment in about 5 minutes. I want to move us into this kind of threshold awareness. So thresholds are these liminal spaces where it's not quite one and it's not quite the other. It's kind of an amalgamation. Alchemy is at work and at play. And this is all kind of moving through us right now. So you may be feeling this at the moment, or you may have been feeling it for a few days. I know a lot of us have. So we're in this threshold of moving from mutable, moving, changeable water towards cardinal fire. And in this threshold space, there will be a mixing and a mingling. There will be one working with the other. You may feel that you are in this space of moving out of the confusion and the overwhelm and the wateriness and the feeling like you're floating or feeling ungrounded. And you get a sense of this fire starting to dry that out and starting to bring that into the light. So we're in this state right now. The equinox is that threshold point of moving from winter to spring in the northern hemisphere. We are moving from Pisces into Aries, and we are connecting with the energy of Ostera and the goddess of Oestra. And these energies represent the point between light and dark. They represent the energy of renewal and fertility and growth. Symbolically, the images that connect with this are the rabbit and the egg. So I know we are approaching Easter soon. And a lot of the energy, the story, the mythology, the symbolism of Easter stems from this time of the equinox of Ostera, this point between the two. And in this, there is this energy of a rebirth that is possible. So there are lots of religions and spiritual rituals that will use water to wash the body clean and then reemerge into the light. So if any of you grew up in Christian traditions, there's the baptism where you are submerged in water and your sins are washed away. And then you emerge from the water into the light, into the air, reborn anew as pure and sinless. Let me break that down into some lighter or higher language. That washing away of the sin is the washing away of the past. It is a relinquishing of those karmic ties that keep moving through you, that keep spinning through your life, that keep you reverting back and looking back to the ways that things have been. And this threshold point is that emerging from the purification of the water. If any of you have done kind of, I've been to Bali and done water purification. If you've done simple things, swimming, water rituals, it's a lot of this is that same energy as you are washing yourself clean of the past, not of the sins, not through judgment, not through frustration or anger or criticism, but because there is a desire to liberate yourself from what you have been engaged in, what you've been choosing, and what has been created before. Because we are not required to carry the past into the present and the future. We've never been required to do that. So take a deep breath now. We're getting ready to move into that equinox moment through that threshold where we are washing through the waves of the water. Just imagine that you're being washed clean of the past. And as you move up out of the water, you're moving into the light. And as we talk about the light is the energy of love. It's an energy of creation. It's an energy of nurturing, being fed and nurtured as we are by the sun and the light of this world. It's an energy of visibility and of being able to see clearly what we are creating and a higher truth of what we are experiencing. So just feel yourself emerging into the sunshine and into the light. Imagine yourself being born, taking those first breaths. And feel the freshness of it. Feel the abundance of the light in the air. Let yourself be filled with this awareness of a clean slate and of a new beginning. And of the promise of something new. So as we're moving into this energy of Aries, again, it is cardinal fire. Spring starts with cardinal fire. Cardinal energy is new beginnings. It's initiation. It's taking those first steps. It's the beginning of your plans and figuring out how you want to implement, how you want to start to create them in real life. It's this energy. It's like the return of the sun. It's the return of the fire. And the beauty of that light and that fire is it can start to dry out any of the illusion and delusion and old stuff, old pain and suffering that we have moved through. It kind of burns away the confusion and the fog. So the mental fog, the lack of clarity, the parts of you that are indecisive, that are going from option to option to option without landing on anything and actually acting on it. When you really step into this fire and let it move through you, it will also purify the path and will purify your way forward. It can burn through the eyes and burn through the senses, not in a way that it is destructive, but in a way that gives focus. So a lot of times when we talk about fire, there can be this fear of it being out of control. A lot of people have fear of fire. They're afraid of it spreading, of it taking over everything, of it being destructive, burning things down. But you can actually focus fire. We do this with candles. We do this in fireplaces. We use this all the time. So this notion that we can focus fire and use it as a tool and use it really cleanly and clearly might be something that's maybe a new concept for you. So it might be worth just kind of tuning into your own internal fire and just getting a sense of your relationship with it and how that feels for you. Is that something you feel like you've fought against? If you've been afraid to be passionate, if you've been afraid to be excited about life, if you've been afraid to get your hopes up, get your hopes up, if you've been scared of taking those first steps, it indicates that you're afraid of part of yourself. You're afraid of the life and the light that is within you. So take a deep breath, and if there's anything within that that is ready to shift and clear, just we're going to let this fire start to burn through and purify that energy. So with the energy of Aries, it often calls forth, it's ruled by Mars, so it can call forth this energy of like a warrior or a knight. And obviously, with warriors and with knights, there can be this element of conflict, of anger, of fighting, of drama. That's not what we're going for. We're not rushing headlong in without consideration. We're not doing things from a place of fear or anger or vengeance. We're not, striking out without a purpose, without a direction, without a cause. Um, what keeps coming through is this idea of the errant knight. And I've heard that phrase before and I had to look it up because I wasn't quite sure that I understood its meaning. And so when I looked up the errant knight, that's Errant, the errant knight is the wanderer. Um, so there's this idea of a wandering knight that is kind of maybe looking for a cause, looking for a place to be of service, looking for somewhere or a group of people that can utilize the gifts or the skills that are inherent within the knight. And I think that we can often spend a lot of our lifetimes feeling like we're wandering through, like we're just trying to figure it out. Yeah, I was telling somebody earlier today, I saw this little clip online this morning where Stephen Colbert was interviewing Adam Driver, who's really interesting. He is a soldier and an actor, and he's kind of a cool, interesting guy. But the very short clip, Stephen Colbert asked Adam Driver, he's like, "Do you feel like you're the hero of your own journey, of your own story?" And Adam was like, "No, I feel like I'm just clinging on most of the time." And it really made me laugh because I think we can feel like that. We feel like we're wandering through, we're trying to figure it out. We're just trying to hang on and see what happens. um, Whereas I think if we're leaning into this idea of actually instead of being the errant knight or the wanderer, what if I'm actually able to kind of click in to something that is more meaningful, aligned, um, maybe divinely directed or guided, or within the soul? So again, there's nothing wrong with the wandering. I think that the wandering can be great. There's a time and a place for all of that. But Aries energy wants to move forward with a purpose. It wants to be dedicated and devoted to something greater than itself. It wants to know that it's contributing. It wants to be loyal to something that is worthwhile. There's a real dignity to it when it's well placed and when it's well directed. So instead of feeling like you're this, you know, again, out for vengeance, looking for battle, looking for war, looking for a fight to fight, kind of saying, actually, what's more grounded and present within me? What feels more divinely inspired within me? And where can I start to pursue that step by step by step? So, moving into spring means that we are planting seeds for the rest of the year. We move from spring of planting seeds, which we've been dreaming about all through winter. So, we've already started the planting, really. We've been doing the dreaming, we've been doing the meditating, the introspection. Things have been happening behind the scenes, whether we've been consciously aware of it or not. The energy is still working for us. And in spring, we're starting to take more action. We're starting to have the conversations, to look after ourselves in different ways. We're looking at the dynamics of our relationships. We're setting new boundaries. We're, yeah, doing the things that are healthy and helpful to move us forward. And then as we plan in the spring, those things root and grow and blossom through the summer. And then in the autumn is the time of harvest. That's when we really gather the gifts, the things that we've put into play, the things that we've watered and nurtured and taken the time to grow. This isn't you plant some seeds today and you just leave it and see what happens. Again, this is recognizing where's the devotion, what's worthy and worthwhile of your time and your energy and your focus, and are you actually going to dedicate yourself to it? Now, I'm not, this does not have to be blood, sweat, and tears. You don't have to fall on your sword for this if we're going with the warrior and the knights analogies. This is about you saying, this is important enough for me that I'm going to devote some time and energy to this. It may be little things each day. It may be each week or month. It's really you figuring out what's needed within those moments. But this recognition that each step is considered. And what that will do is that will start to clean up your boundaries. That will help you start to make better choices. Because if the choices on offer before were all pretty poor ones, none of them that really lit you up, none of them that really were going to take you forward anywhere, especially the ones that would just keep taking you back into that old karma, and you say, I've got a better option. It's easier to choose that better option. People feel lost because they don't feel like they have something to move forwards towards. They don't have something to dedicate themselves to. And it can be one thing. You can pick one area of your life and say, I'm devoting myself towards my spiritual practices. I'm devoting myself towards finding a job that lights me up. I'm devoting myself towards my own physical health and well being. I'm devoting this time and energy towards developing my mind. There are courses I want to take or things I want to learn more about. Um, yes, whatever that is for you. So you may find it useful to just pick one area of your life and say, this is it. The cool thing about it is that if you really devote yourself, like really do it for one area of your life, it will improve other areas of your life too, because it's all connected. But sometimes we feel really spread thin. That's that Piscean, just kind of feeling a bit lost and floating. We feel really spread thin with everything, whereas actually kind of getting into that fire focus, that finding the passion, the excitement, the diligence, the devotion, that's going to take you deeper and take you farther. So you'll deepen in and you'll expand out. How cool is that, right? um, so yeah, so now's the time to kind of feed that fire, to feed the passions, to let yourself be excited and passionate about things, to center yourself, be the hero of your own story, for real. Don't cling on like Adam Driver. I'm sure he's doing better than that, but yeah. So let this fire work through you and let it ignite the light that's already there. You just remind yourself of what's already there within you. The deeper truths are always there. You never lose them. Sometimes we just they get a bit overshadowed by some things. So this is your opportunity to start to say, what do I actually want to move towards? And what are the choices that I make today, this week, that are going to start taking me towards that? So it's this really cool dynamic of we've moved from Pisces surrender and into Aries growth, from that release into receiving. So take a deep breath and just let that move through you. So if you want to take a moment and write down or speak to yourself into your own heart about the dreams that you are planting now. What have you been dreaming about the last few months, last few weeks, or maybe longer? That you're really ready to plant some seeds for, that you're really ready to start to take some steps towards. Again, remembering you don't have to have it all figured out right now. You don't have to have the whole plan formulated. You don't have to know everything you're doing every day. That's just a way to procrastinate and sabotage yourself. Don't fall into that. Don't let your mind talk you out of it before you even start. And think bigger, like really think huge. We often unconsciously limit ourselves because we just go for what we think we might be able to have. And it usually sucks. It's usually not any fun. Or we get bored with it real quick because it's not actually what we wanted. Feels misaligned and we're like, why did I create that? Or why is this happening to me? I'm not enjoying this. It's usually because you aimed really low and really small. So, like, build the imaginary world and let it become your reality. And start to create those foundations for the impossible so that they become possible. Like, we're in a world right now that kind of feels like it's on fire. It's not an easy one to be in at the moment and hasn't been for a while, really, if we're being honest. So it takes some big dreamers who are willing to take some action towards building that new world. Might as well start with us. Why not? And it can start with you in your life because what you do in your life gets shared energetically with the rest of the world too. So nothing that you're planting or dreaming about is selfish or wrong or bad. If it's done from heart and soul, it's going to be of service to the world. It's going to help others too. So, in just a moment, I'm going to take us into our meditation. There will be healing energy throughout. Um, First, I'm going to take us through a couple minutes of the surrender and of the release. We're going to tap into the dreaming. We're going to move through the thresholds and into this Aries fire and into that forward movement. So just notice what you notice as you go through this. If you're someone who doesn't meditate often, that's great. This is going to be a short one, so you should be fine. It's good practice. Just notice what comes through. Notice what you're aware of. Notice what's interesting. Um, Let your mind go with it. Um, yeah, and even if it seems way out of reach or impossible, breathe into it and say, yeah, why not? It's the only way cool stuff gets created anyway. So, taking a nice deep breath, I'll invite you to close your eyes. And you can lie down or sit, but in a position where you feel held, where you're not fidgeting or moving around a bunch, where you're comfortable enough to be at ease. Breathe deep into yourself. And we're going to move into those dreams that you've been having as you're asleep or in your imagination, in your waking moments. And I want you to allow yourself to feel into the energy of possibility, the energy of creativity, the energy of imagination. And recognize that you already know how to do this. You are a creative being at heart. You've not lost this as you've grown up. Our imagination is one of our greatest gifts. Our capacity to dream, to desire, to think outside of the box and outside of the comfort zone is powerful. It's what makes us. So I want you to allow your imagination to open, your sense of creativity to expand. Just take a few moments to ponder about what you may want to move towards over the coming days and weeks and months ahead. You may recognize some things that you need to move out of first. So we're going to bring in some love and some healing for whatever you are relinquishing, whatever you are surrendering, whatever you are liberating yourself from. Because the past does not need to be a part of your future. So go deep into the imagination of what you want to dream into being. Into the lifestyle you want to be living. How you want to spend your time. Types of people you want to commune with. The dynamics in your relationships that would feel exquisite to experience. Without the trappings of reality or what seems like reality right now. What could you dream into being? What could you imagine as possible? And anytime your mind constricts or opposes or questions, you just take a deep breath and invite your mind to play along. So imagine your dream world. Where relationships are created, dreams are lived, where you're healthy and well, you're strong and confident, where you're of service in meaningful ways, where you're no longer seeking or wandering, but you are living. Imagine that you're gathering all that energy up inside of you. The way you look, the way you feel, the way you present yourself, the way you express yourself. Let all those dreams move within you. Let these hopes feel real. Allow your imagination to fill in the gaps, to fill in some details, to help you see or feel how this is going to start to come to fruition. If you don't have all the details yet, that is okay. You've got a season to plant seeds, to work it out, to let it flow. Just getting the foundations and the seeds into play right now. So now we're going to imagine that we're moving through that Austera threshold from dreaming into being, moving from the past into the present. And again, imagine that you're taking that first breath on your birthday into this new life, a new reality. Just the start of the details that you've been imagining, the bits of information, the parts that are feeling clear. Imagine that they are in the seeds that you're planting. They're in the steps that you're taking. That every time you take a step, something grows. Every time you devote energy to an idea that aligns and that's healthy for you, that there's blossoming, there's growth, there's beauty. Every time you choose something from a place of light and love and dignity, you open up space for something new, for something greater, for something more aligned. And instead of wandering, feeling lost, or just waiting for things to line up or work for you, you're letting this fire burn through your life, burn through your body, burn through your senses for focus, for clarity, for direction, for graceful momentum. Take a moment to look at your world around you, to see what you're planting, to see what can grow, to get a feel for that creative energy within you that's feeding and nourishing it, the light within you that supports the goodness to grow. And feel the dignity in this devotion. Feel the alignment of heart and mind. See a world that is brighter and lighter because you are choosing what aligns. I'm going to give you the last few moments. So if there's anything within you that is untangling, unraveling, and healing, that can continue on. Any insights that you are ready to receive or made known. And any clear and exciting seeds that you are ready to plant in this energy. If that begins to happen and it begins to take root in this moment. You do not have to know all the answers. You're just being asked to be willing to lean in to the possibilities that light you up. This is your genesis, your new beginning, a new unfolding. Your opportunity to plant your dreams, to build a new world, new foundations. So let's call in blessings for this new growth, focus, and clarity. And if you'd like to just sit in this energy for a few more moments, please do. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. I'm just going to take these last few moments to share a few cards that I pulled before our closing prayer. Of course, they're perfect. So the first card I pulled was the rotation card. And this is from the Wild Unknown Alchemy deck, if anybody's interested in the cards. So this is the wheel, monotony, and cycles. It says rotatio is the great alchemical operation of the wheel. Through its circulatory, through its circularity, it indicates that work performed again and again produces results. It reminds us our efforts are cumulative, not singular, nor is the work ever fixed or finished. Rather, the alchemist rises each day to tend to the laboratory, to weave their work into the world. It is the epitome of the alchemical axiom, idem mutata resurgo, which means although changed, I arise the same. This operation is expressed through images of the circle, the spiral, the Ouroboros, and the wheel. By its non-hierarchical shape, we are tossed back into the spin just when we thought we had it all figured out. Though this stage can be frustrating and cause a fair amount of restlessness, it is the heart of all spiritual practices. What I want to share about this is it becomes tiresome and frustrating when you're spinning back into the past. When you disrupt the pattern, the spiral moves deeper. It becomes more interesting. It becomes more fulfilling. So if the spin of the wheel feels boring and old, it's time to choose something new. And the second card is Sparks of Light, which feels perfect for Aries. This is hope, sensation, and exhilaration. This card arrives just in the nick of time, leaving a trail of celestial light to guide the way. Follow these flickers as if they are alchemical clues, guiding you to an illuminated state. When this card appears, it's likely there has been a lull or void of direction in the laboratory. Some might even say the lights have been turned off. But in the deep void of darkness, a messenger of hope arrives, flickering and shimmering with enthusiasm. You might feel this card as a childlike giddiness, the presence of magic, a vision in a dream, or a simple readiness to wake up from a long slumber. Follow the physical body, follow the tingling sensations of aliveness within, and you will not be led astray. Vitality, clarity, and inspiration are within your reach. You are alive. You are a vital being. Appreciate this moment. One spark leads to the next. Oh, so I am aware of time and want to honor your time. So what I will do is I will finish up with a closing prayer and lots of blessings for your equinox and moving into spring. You are so welcome to join me for future events. I've got some Sovereign Boundaries series coming up in the next month. Most people I know could use some help with some boundaries, so you're very welcome to join if you feel called to do so. I'll also be having some in-person events coming up in the spring and summer and beyond. And if you have any questions that have come up through this, please feel free to send me an email. I'm really happy to get back to you if there's anything that you would like to explore a little bit further. So I'll invite you all to take in a couple nice deep breaths. Just allow this energy to feel centered and present within you. Mother Earth, Father Sky, creator of all that is, Atanaha, all that is. Thank you for bringing us together for the energy of the threshold that we are able to move through. We ask that it's graceful, that it's easeful, that we know that we're supported and held in it, that we know what it feels like to continually be moving towards the light, that we know what it feels like to be guided by the light within us, and that we know that we are never without it. Oh. Thank you all so much. Sending you lots of love and blessings. Yeah, I'm very grateful for you being here live or watching the recording. I appreciate your energy and your time. Yes, Liz, hopefully see you at the boundary sessions. Thank you, Fiona. Insightful and illuminating. So glad. Thank you to Emily. Yeah, so thank you again to the group. And oh, great, great, loved it, awesome, lovely, yeah. So, and the collective makes such a difference. So, thank you all for being here to support each other in all these ways as well. So, sending you all lots and lots of love. Please be in touch, and yes, have a wonderful, wonderful equinox. Um, yeah, enjoy your time. Hopefully, if you can get out into the sun today, that's the perfect way to spend it. So, thank you again.